Welcome to Rebel Economics, and to this new edition of Economics 101, where today we explore the notion of an economic recession. What is it? What does it imply for the economy? And why are we all so terrified of it? Today we will answer all of those questions, so consider subscribing to Rebel Economics, and let's get to it. Firstly, a recession is a very complicated economic term because it can be morphed and abused by political intention as well as other interested parties. Generally speaking, economists will have two definitions when it comes to a recession. One is quite bland and non-mathematical, while the other one is far more explicit. I like the second one more. The first definition of recession is a time of rising unemployment accompanied by slow GDP growth. GDP is a macroeconomic measure that more or less determines the level of activity in an economy. This definition has many problems because it does not determine what frame of time is used. And are we talking weeks, months, quarters? The second problem is that slow GDP growth is another subjective measure. What is slow growth? For some countries, slow growth might be 3%. For others, 3% might be a dream. So I far prefer the second definition. Economists also use the measure of 2 consecutive quarters of falling GDP. I like this one far more because it is less susceptible of being abused by politicians on one side saying that the other side is causing a recession. Has the GDP been declining for the past 2 quarters? If yes, then the country is in a recession. If no, the opposition is fear-mongering. Now that we have a definition, it is important to ask, why are we all so afraid of a falling GDP? Well, GDP, while not perfect, is a pretty good indication of an economy's activity. How much is being produced, how many people are working, how much is being spent, things like that. So, 2 consecutive quarters of an economy being less productive paints the picture of an economic system in decline. This tends to always be paired up with rising unemployment, which occurs due to the slowing of the economy. Since our entire system requires yearly growth to maintain our level of life, since factors like inflation make our money less valuable every year, an economy that produces and consumes less this year than it did in the previous one is very bad news. So, should we be afraid of a recession? Yes, but within reason. Recessions are part of the capitalist cycles of boom and bust, by which some periods of high growth, cheap credit, and high employment necessarily lead to periods of declining growth, high unemployment, and no one wants to give you a loan. The causes for this shift are manifold. The creation of speculative bubbles in the financial sector, product of cheap capital, is one. The expectations of an upcoming recession is another, sometimes leading to a paradox where expectations cost that reality. And another one is reaching the sheer top of how much a society can actually consume, which leads to reductions in productions, which might trigger the first quarter of lesser growth. Recessions are very complex beasts, and politicians should show maturity and let go of partisan notions as to how to tame them. Whether they do so successfully is the cause of tremendous debate, and the realm of historians that can afford to look back and criticize how they acted. So, thank you for watching this new video of Economics 101. Please consider subscribing for more informative short videos like this one, and check out some other videos on your screen right now. Thank you once again, and I will see you in the next one.